What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most, Griever, as always, here to bring you guys some more Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 211 review entitled Ripen. Now, I'm going to preface this entire review by saying I didn't understand the chapter, and this guy right here feels dumb as bricks. Just going to say it right out of the gate. So before everyone complains and trolls and tells me how stupid I am in the comment section, I already fucking know. Alright? So you can save your damn words. You can still say it, but I mean, I'm just not gonna bother responding or listening at this point because why am I so peeved at the beginning of a review? Well, because this is supposed to be a live reaction. It was, and it's recorded. It's still on the computer. Clocked in at over an hour, but it's there. And as I was editing it and put it into the renderer, I realized that all it did was make me sound stupid. And as I was listening back to myself, I felt stupid, and I went, you know what, I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna come clean to you guys instead of producing a live reaction where I'm pointing out plot holes that may or may not exist and making assumptions and arguments and all this stuff and reactions to things that I'm clearly not fully understanding. Then that's fine. You know what? I'm not going to produce that type of video. There's no reason to do that. I'm just going to sit back and say, unlike Chapter 210, which I can stand by and say, yes, it was a mess of a chapter. I still hold to that. Unlike that, I can't actually tell you if 211 is a good chapter or not because I didn't fucking get it. I didn't understand half of the chapter. That middle section of the chapter, actually, the whole damn thing. Didn't understand it. Here's my takeaway from the chapter, just so you guys know I'm not a complete moron at this point, is that Sumiki showed up and she's evil. That's what I got out of it. Sumiki showed up. It's the 16th. And Maki joined the group. That is my... They talked a lot of stuff. I just didn't understand any of it, but they talked. That's pretty much it. That's my review. So this week does not have anything, and once again, I'm gonna go up on a little bit of a extended olive branch, and rather than because I think that the calling games are overly complicated and the dialogue and everything's being spoken here is not well explained, it's overly complicated, and it doesn't need to be for a very... the calling games is just a battle royale arc, but it's being overcast with all this extra shit, all these layers on top, that all it does is overcomplicate a casual viewer like me. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just, instead of doing that and rating the chapter and being like, well, since I didn't understand it, the chapter sucked, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to extend the olive branch and say, guys, I didn't get it, so I'm not going to rate it. I'm not going to tell you whether this chapter was good. I'm not going to tell you whether the chapter was bad. I'm not going to tell you if it was just alright. Might be the greatest chapter of Shonen Jump in the last 10 years for all I know. But since I didn't get half of what was going on, I'm just gonna say, hey, I read the chapter and my takeaway was Maki joined the group in Tokyo Colony Number 1 with Yuji and Hana and Megami, and Sumiki showed up. They wasted some points and all this stuff, and she apparently is either taken over by a Heian sorcerer, or she's got a Sukuna 2.0 or an angel in her, or she's just been evil from the get-go, or she's joined, Kenjaku's side and turned evil. Either way, she apparently, or it's going to be one of the Itachi, I'm doing this to save you, Megumi sort of idea. There's always that fifth, very unlikely, but fifth option. So that's basically my takeaway from the chapter that I at least understood. Yeah, and I've been sitting here, so I recorded that reaction, and it was, as I said, over an hour, and I was very unhappy with it, and then I started to try to review and explain things, but after knowing that I wasted an hour, after a long day at work, and it's like my Friday, and I'm like, alright, I'm going to record this review, and then I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, and all I've been doing is wasting time, trying to re-record it as a review, and I'm thinking, okay, I can review it, and just say, listen guys, hi, it's Griever, I didn't understand it, right? And just end the video, right? Easy. But then I just kept stumbling over my words. Now I've gotten irritated. Now I got flustered. Then I got bitter. And then so some of these recordings that I was reviewing, for this review, just kept, I was shitting on the chapter. And then I went, well, that's not really fair, just because I didn't understand what was going on and stuff like that, So I've sort of tabled it all off, and I'm just going to say, hey, I didn't get it. I didn't get a lot of the rules. I don't understand the double barrier, if there is such a thing. Like, there's a colony barrier, but there's a barrier outside of that doesn't follow the fucking barrier rules or the culling game rules, but yet Maki can pass through them because she's got no cursed energy. That much I got, that she can pass through barriers, but she can still freely enter and exit colonies because the colonies have a barrier, do they not? So why is the barrier not subsequent to the rules and stuff? I was trying to figure it out, and then I got thrown for an entire loop with the whole Angel thing. Angel's explanation fucking threw me for a loop, and I still think it's a plot hole of some regard, along with the fact that participation in the culling game, unless I'm missing something from the rules, because the rules weren't brought up. Rule 1 and 2 were, but they kept referencing rule number 7, but they never told us, again, just to reiterate, what does rule number 7 say? I didn't know in the reaction. I still don't know now because I haven't bothered to look it up. I don't remember. What's rule number 7? So, at the end of the day, I just didn't, there was layers and layers and layers, and I feel like I have to pull up the Wikipedia page. Here's the culling game rules, and here's, the wiki, here's what happened here, 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 and here, just to make some sense of it, because I don't understand the participation thing, why Yuji's explanation, Megan, basically Yuji says that they don't need to bring Sumiki into the colony to withdraw her from the culling game, and Megumi says no, that won't work because of rule 1 and 2, but then I read rule 1 and 2, unlike 7, were actually said in the chapter, and then I read them, and I went, no, Yuji's idea still works. So, I don't know if it's a plot hole, or I'm just not understanding something. So, there's that. And as I said before, along with the Hana Angel thing, explaining Angel's curse technique is the reason that Hana can just boom, 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 fuck the barriers, and the colony barriers, if they're two separate things, I don't know. The culling game barriers, at the very least, and barriers themselves that are outside the culling game rules, because that's the whole reason rules 2 and 3, their whole master plan, doesn't even work anymore. Apparently that dropped, okay, in this chapter, but she can blitz between them because of Angel's curse technique. But Angel even said, my curse technique is curse technique removal, and I'd have to find the foundation of the barrier to remove the barrier. So what I'm not understanding is, how can then she cross through the barrier? Unlike Maki. Maki at least makes sense because she's got no zero cursed energy, all that stuff, handling restriction. But, Angel brought up, I can't remove a curse technique because I can't find, the building blocks. I can't find the foundation to remove it. That would take time, and that would be hard to do. But that's the explanation that Hana gives, that she can go through the barrier. But then Angel says, but I can't destroy the barrier. Then your curse technique removal means nothing. What? You just, once again, it might be the explanation, but what does he do? I can create a square hole. I can create a door in the barrier. I just don't destroy the barrier. And then I pass through that, and that's how Hana goes through. None of that is explained. And even so, if that was the case, why can't you take other people with you? Why can't you open a temporary door? All right, guys, you got 4 seconds. Go, 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 go. So, as I said, this entire chapter, most of it, I was completely lost. I don't understand if there's a separate barrier, if there's a barrier all around Japan, or if there's a barrier, there's a culling game barrier around the colony, or a colony barrier, if you will, that follows the rules of the culling game, hence why the enter and exit and enter thing, culling game rule is moot, or there's a separate barrier, or it's all the same barrier, but the barrier doesn't need to follow the culling game rules, but there's still colony, here's the line sort of idea, but it's an irrelevant line, but it is a relevant line. I don't know. As I said, totally lost on this chapter. I'm just done talking about it. 212, no dialogue. Please just fight so I don't feel so stupid next week. But yeah, 211. Can't say it was good, can't say it was bad, because this guy right here, I don't fucking get it. Alright, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll understand, unlike 210, which was a mess, I'll understand if you dislike this review. I'll understand it, guys. I understand. So, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Or not. I certainly didn't. And we'll see you guys back here next time. Bye-bye.